Hi, hope everyone's doing well when this gets out there. Just wanted to start looking at a couple of the first things that I remember in regards to grief. Those of you who've been locked into my page by now understands that this is me unpacking grief, having lost my mother at 17, which was my first real interaction with grief. And the first thing I touch on is the first phone call that I received breaking the news, and it was a Tuesday morning. I'd gone bed early the night before, and I'd woken up getting ready to go to work. The house was pretty quiet. Um, at the time, I wouldn't have known why, but the house was pretty quiet, and the phone rang, and it was one of my cousins on the other end, and straight away she said, and I'll never forget it, really sorry for your loss. And straight away I knew exactly what it was, even though I didn't understand that my mother was that ill. But that phone call, I probably the loudest scream that could have ever come out of me. And what would result after that was just a broken person, a broken individual, a broken family in hindsight, because that phone call was a phone call I really wasn't even sure, would ever come because, at 17, as I said in my previous video, she had an accident previously, and I just never thought that that sort of thing would be something I'd be dealing with at that age. The week prior, I remember speaking to my mom, and one of the things she said to me in conversation was around, not wanting me to come back to Jamaica. And in hindsight now, I realized she was probably telling me that, if she had passed away, that I shouldn't come to the funeral. Now, from a mother's perspective, I get it. She would have looked at the fact that the plan was for me to go to college in the UK, where majority of my family had lived. Um, but how could I? How could I not attend my mother's funeral? How could I? I get it now, um, but it's a decision that was mine to make, and I have no regrets in the decision that I made. I also remember the first night going back into the family home, stepping into the house and breaking down in tears because this was a reality now. It was real, and I had to deal with it. I remember the first night after the funeral, the emptiness, because in between death and burial in the Jamaican culture, we have every night there's different families, different friends in the house. It's their way of comforting you. But what I believe we fail to understand is the comfort that's required after the funeral. And whenever I talk to people, I always share with them that is the worst part of everything, is the fact that that silence after all of the singing, the food, the everything, it's just that silence, and it's the family that's left to it. And in my case, and some of this is vivid memories, because I hadn't realized until recently how much I had compartmentalized. I hadn't realized how much I had boxed away in parts of my subconscious because of the hurt. The human brain, I believe, has ways of compartmentalizing things to ease the pain, to bring comfort. And that's exactly where and what had happened, because like I said, I don't remember everything, but I do remember the silence. I do remember it getting to a state where I hated night. I hated night because, during the days you can do different things, you can go different places, but when it comes on to night, you're more restricted. And I was then faced with the fact that my mother wasn't there anymore. If I was playing football with the man them, if I was, out and about with my friends, that memory was to one side. But you get home and she's not there. You get home and it's all obvious that this is the reality. I remember the first birthday, her birthday that is, which is one of the reasons equally why December is such a challenging time for me. And again, not something that I'd really paid attention to, but hindsight, I'm looking back at December 1998, and that December was a horrendous time. First time not being able to buy my mother a birthday card, not being able to say happy birthday, the first Christmas without my mother. Um, Really tough, really, really tough. And as I said, some of it I can barely remember because subconsciously I've shoved it to one side. I remember the first Mother's Day, you know, seeing everyone else getting gifts and not having a mother to get a gift, not to buy roses for, not to tell her how much I appreciate her. Really, really painful. First job, first paycheck, not being able to say, Mom, I love you, Mom, get yourself this or whatever. My first, so much first, my first child, so much first, but the memories that I hold on to, the memories that I treasure, I keep them dear to me. But, there are so many things that I wish I had said. I wish I would have the opportunity to say. Sometimes I reflect on the fact that I've not had a mother longer than I did have one. But it doesn't make it any easier because I see friends, I see family. I don't envy anyone, but I see people having a mother. And I think what even pains my heart more is when I see people ill treating their mothers. And I think if only you knew what I would give to have a mother, what I would give or what I wouldn't give to be able to say, I love you, Mom, to have my mother meet my daughter. I remember taking my kids to Jamaica and my kids are misbehaving and I'm seeing my dad in the corner of my eye laughing his head off, and I would learn that that was him seeing me being a father and possibly just saying, it's your turn, son. This is what, you were doing. Not being able to have those moments with my mother, her seeing her with her grandkids. She only met my eldest niece, and the way she was with her, I remember there were times that she would literally just take over my sister. It was like as if it wasn't my sister's child, it was her child, how much she took over. And I gave my daughter my mother's middle name because that was me trying to, you know, remind myself of my mom, because that's not a memory I want to ever forget. And it was equally, I suppose, probably my way of trying to have my mother live on. My wife reminds me so much of her to the point where I would reflect on, I remember seeing my nan, visiting my nan, and she would call my wife and I, my dad and my mum's name. And these are some of the things that in grief, you have to find ways of not shelving things and actually just taking time to breathe and have those memories become happy memories. I wouldn't change anything. I wish I had more time and all of that, but I wouldn't change anything because I am the man I am today because the 17 years that I had a mother, she did the best she could. She taught me well. She instilled a lot in me, even by the things she didn't do. So I've got no regrets. But if you're there, as I said, you're dealing with any grief, um, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be unsure of how to deal with things. But one thing I want to encourage you, if nothing is, just take it one day at a time. Sometimes I remember things that I've shelved, things that I've put to the back of my mind, and it affects those that are around me. I learned something recently, and it is so true that hurt people. When you're hurt, you can end up hurting people. So don't just be broken and accept it and just think that Sarah, whatever to be will be. Seek help. I pushed away so many people, so many friends. I pushed away so many loved ones because I was going through grief, because I didn't understand it. I'm trying to understand it, and I'm doing this because I want to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better man. I'm trying to be someone that is okay for other people to be around. So many times I've pushed people away. And I encourage you, don't make the mistakes I've made. Don't push people away. As I said, it's so easy, so easy to do it. And again, if you're there and you're struggling, like I said, seek help, seek counseling, you know, reach out if you want to. But as I'm here unpacking, if you haven't started to unpack, please do, because I feel like I'm getting better. I genuinely, the love support that's been shown towards me, the DMs that you drop, they go a long way. People telling me how much of a nice person my mother was. There were sides to her that I never knew. How much the people that would message me reminding me what she did for them. I got my driver's license in Jamaica because of my mother, years after she had passed. You know, if you're Jamaican, you know you know what I'm talking about. But you know, grief is real. Seek help if you need help. If you're going through it, you're not alone. You can get help and get yourself right. Don't push anyone away. Don't lose any friends because you're trying to go through this journey on your own. Really, really hope this might help someone. I know it's helping me. Just don't suffer in silence. Don't suffer alone. This December, reach out to someone. If you are there and this is your first Christmas of not having a loved one with you, there are other people out there that love you. That was something that it took me a very long time to come to terms with, was that my mother wasn't the only person that loved me, that there were other people that loved me. It's so easy to compare the person that you've lost with others, and everyone that comes in your life, you're trying to compare them with them. Use the memories positively. Don't use them to push people away, is my encouragement. Hopefully this helps someone.